Hello, welcome to Long Island Weather Updates, 9:30 on March 5th, on another really gloomy day with rain. Uh, Periods of rain on and off, showers. Tonight we just left with the drizzle. There's that low pressure system that's got some subtropical characteristics to it. You can see, look at it on the satellite. Definitely subtropical characteristics. Yeah, look over there. That's definitely subtropical. This is not something you would, you know. I mean, if this was the summer, this would have been named a tropical depression for sure. But definitely has some tropical characteristics there. Looking at the cloud structure and everything, really interesting to see. So, looking at the current satellite, it's moving out, but as one system moves out, the next system winds up moving in for tomorrow. So we'll take this to the CONUS view, and this shows you here's the next system here. And this one's going to be a lot more potent. You can see the moisture feed already that it's got coming out of the Gulf. So this one's going to be a lot more potent for tomorrow afternoon into the evening. Yeah, I know. It's the train of rain that we have, a train of pain and a train of rain and dreary conditions. I'll make this a little bit larger here so you can see here. It's just one, yeah, just one system right after another because you got a stalled front right here. So nothing's really. There's nothing really, and then the jet stream winds are very weak, so these things are taking their time moving along. Looking at the radar here, you can see from the first system, here's the first system, it's already gone. And here's the second system coming in over the southeast right now. Looks like it's even got some thunderstorms with it as well. Look at that. Wow, look at what's going on off Florida right now. If that would load, that would be great, because that looks really something. If it would load, it would be great. We'll put this in. Yeah, for whatever reason, we have a problem, but you'll see here, that looks like a squall line right there. It's coming into Florida right now. So, yeah, this system definitely got some storminess going on. If we look at the lightning detection here, we'll take a look and see what we've got here. I'm sure that there's, oh, yeah, decent amount of lightning off Tampa here. So, Florida getting a lot of thunderstorm activity today as well. And you get all this humidity, that's what winds up happening. Looking at what the day was like outside today, really crummy day. You can see with this low pressure here. Here's the next system, and another developing low over that. This is what it looked like today. At least I made it outside after the most of the rain had stopped. There was still a lot of fog and drizzle around. Just a miserable day overall. So let's go over our climate. And we have a flood watch in effect now because we've had so much rain and the rain is saturated. And that's going to go from Wednesday afternoon through late Wednesday night across the area. Excessive runoff may result in flooding of rivers, creeks, streams, and other low-lying and flood-prone locations, with 1 to 3 inches with locally higher amounts of additional rainfall expected. And we also have a locally dense fog possible this evening as well. Let's go to the local past weather tab, and we'll go and look at our highs and lows. Well above normal again. High 49, low 41. Not much of a range there. That puts us 8 degrees above normal for the day. We've already had 1.84 inches of rain at Islip this month, and we've just gotten started. Central Park, high 47, low 42. 5 degrees above normal today. So let's go to the weather map here, and we'll take a look at what we have as far as our observations go. And it's a moist, humid night out there, 45, 2.45, very humid. I actually have to have my air conditioner on just to get the humidity out of here. I can't stand it. We have a light westerly wind now. Light westerly winds. The winds have kind of swung around. There's one other thing I kind of wanted to show you, actually, before I get started with this. This is the radar from earlier, and you can see, again, that swirl. Look at that. I mean, this thing definitely has some tropical characteristics to it. Definitely. Nobody wants to admit it, of course, because that would mean admitting what's going on with our climate, and they don't want to do that. So, pretty much a dull day all around today. Let's go look at our highs, and across Long Island, upper 40s. Yeah, pretty much upper 40s to around 50 degrees, and the lows, low 40s pretty much for everybody. Let's look at rainfall. Let's take a look to see how much rain we've gotten so far from this system. Not all that much. The system really didn't bring that much. Generally a half an inch to a quarter of an inch across Long Island. Higher amounts to the west where a half an inch fell. or maybe up close to 3/4 of an inch in Toms River. Like I said, the main rain is going to be coming later tomorrow. That's when we're going to really be getting into it. And looking across the country here, let's just put this to the station plot again. I'm kind of curious if there's any severe thunderstorm watches or warnings, and nothing in effect for that. But we may see flood warnings posted for tomorrow, perhaps, with this rain that we're going to have coming in. So let's look at the weather map here, and you'll see one system leaves. Here's the GFS model, and then the next system. This one's going to bring in a much heavier rain tomorrow night and lingering perhaps into part of Thursday. At least finally starts wrapping up, I think, as we get toward hopefully by Thursday evening. And then we get a break Friday. The sun may even come out. I think the sun should be out on Friday. And then here comes the next system to ruin your Saturday. However, the models are slowing it down a little bit. So this is some good news here. It's slowing it down, so most of your Saturday may actually be okay now. And then the rain comes in overnight, which would be perfect. Have the rain come in overnight, later Saturday night to Sunday, and then it's out of here. All right. So at least this is the latest run of the GFS. Let's take a look and see what the icon is doing as well with this. So here's the icon. So there's your first system. All right. And your second system, icon. Icon's still trying to bring it in Saturday. We'll have to see. We'll have to see if it keeps slowing it down a little bit. Maybe we'll be able to salvage part of Saturday. Maybe. All right. It won't be a complete washout. But let's talk about the next system that we got to deal with right now, which is system number 2 for tomorrow. All right, so dry. I mean, you may have fog or drizzle, but by the afternoon, the rain starts in, and it could be heavy at times. You can see those heavier rain amounts. The rain continues here in the HRRR through early morning. Then it stops, but then you see the lows kind of still sitting over us and kind of just hanging around, and that may cause rain lingering into your Thursday afternoon and maybe even into the evening. So, yeah. So not only will tomorrow, I mean, unless you're early, but from, say, the afternoon on until perhaps Thursday evening, we're going to be dealing with wet conditions nonstop, pretty much. You can see it just develops as low. The HRRR, the NAM have been on this as well. Originally, we thought it was going to dry out, but this low is kind of just sitting here. We're getting moisture just wrapping around the low pressure system. Total accumulation on the HRRR. Look at how much rain we are going to see from this system. It's going to be a soaker. We're going to get at least 2 inches, probably 2 to 3 inches. It looks like the heaviest stuff over Long Island. That's what the HRRR says, because we're going to have more in the way of dynamics, and that means heavier rain than what we had with this system. So you can see, look at the rain just coming in here on the HRRR model there. And there's plenty of moisture with this system. If you look at the dew points and wind flow, dew points actually drop a little bit tonight to the 40s, but then they go way up tomorrow. Plenty of juicy air just to the south that's going to be drawn into this system. And then behind it, we've got the northeast flow, and that goes to that takes us to, again, this takes us to Thursday night. There may even be, if you're north and if you're over here, there might even be some snowflakes. If you look at the NAM, you know, so the HRRR is not showing that, but the NAM is. So let's go to the NAM 3. And again, this is our system again for, so it starts tomorrow afternoon, heavy rain through the evening, and then there's a little bit of a break Thursday morning, and look at what happens. It redevelops over the area later Thursday evening again with more. Though it looks like it would mainly be on the light side, but that low it's almost like what's going on is it's almost developed. Yeah, it's actually developing another low. So that's the second low, all right, or should I say the first low, and then another low develops, and that enhances the rain and brings in more rain for later Thursday. So I mean, it's crazy. One low and then another low because you got all this warm water, you know, just popping lows all over the ocean. So that's going to help to enhance the rainfall. And here we are on the last frame. 06 Friday still isn't raining over Suffolk County. With this slow moving, it's slowing it down quite a bit. So the slower it is, the more rain we're going to get. All right. This is the NAM here, the NAM 3. All right. Let's look at the radar simulation now of this. So again, that rain comes in afternoon tomorrow, and then heavy at times through the evening. There's a break Thursday morning, and then it redevelops. It redevelops Thursday evening and then lingers around through much of Thursday night because of the stupid low that develops offshore. At least this is what the NAM is thinking. All right. No snow here, though. It's too warm for that. And the earlier run of the NAM was actually showing, I can go this, showing a little snow here. Yeah, I know. That's not going to, probably not going to be happening. All right, that's the earlier run of the NAM. All right, so the NAM's definitely onto something here. Let's look at the FGen here, and I'm going to pull this back to the 12Z. All right, because there's some decent FGen here. So here's that first wave of FGen that's going to come through tomorrow night. All right, bringing the heavy rain. Like, say, between like 4 and 8 and 9 o'clock, that's when you're going to get a nice wave of heavy rain. And this still lingers over the area, and then not really showing much in the way of FGen on Thursday night. It's showing it more over New England. You can see there with that second low. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this. Obviously, it's just going to be this is going to be worse than the system we just dealt with because this storm is just going to take it's going to be like crawling like a turtle over our area, and then that's because you get that secondary that's going to form because again you got all that warm water. It's just the energy is just plenty of energy there to, So going back to the HRRR, we'll go ahead and look at the temperatures for tomorrow. And the temperatures obviously won't be dropping all that much tonight. Probably 40s. And then for tomorrow, we'll probably make it to the 50s earlier on. And then when the rain starts, temperatures will probably drop a little bit. But it's still going to stay relatively mild, around 50. And then for Thursday is going to be colder. And so when we get that second wave of rain, it's going to be a low 40s. It's going to be a raw, miserable rain. That northeast wind, it's going to really be miserable to be outside with that northeast wind. If this verifies, originally this was not supposed to happen, but all the models seem to have changed their tune now. However, the GFS still holding on to the fact the rain moves out. So let's look at the GFS here. You can see it has it mostly gone by Thursday night. So the other models, we'll have to see. This is the 18Z run of the GFS. We're going to have to see if the GFS comes around. But we have the HRRR and the NAM in on the idea of that rain lingering. FV3 is a 12Z run. Can't use that. And the Icon, well, you have the European as well, though this is a lower resolution. This is the European also has the idea of developing that other low right there. This is the European AIFS. All right. Icon does not have it lingering. So you still have a disagreement, but there's a chance that it's going to linger into Thursday. And let's hope it doesn't. Let's hope it gets on out of here and we don't see that because it's bad enough that we're going to have to deal with it tomorrow. And then once we're done with this storm system, then we got to deal with the one on Saturday. So, and looking at the GFS here, total accumulated rainfall here, you can see here, and this is probably on the low end. I think it's going to be more like 2 inches, all right? And then we get the Saturday system, and this is going to give us another, so let's do 24-hour accumulated precip. This will kind of divide it up a little bit. That'll give us another 1 to 2 inches of rain on that Saturday system, all right? So, or Saturday night to Sunday if the model slows it down, all right? European... Here's the European, 12Z European, which we can look at here for your Saturday system. And again, showing that 1 to 2 inch amount. And here's your first system here. So we're going to see over a month's worth of rain between now and Saturday night or Sunday. I mean, and who knows if the storm overperforms tomorrow. We may get a month's worth of rain tomorrow night to Thursday. Every storm system's overperformed because the models don't have a handle on it. They don't have a handle on what's happening. With all this additional warmth and extra water vapor in the atmosphere because of many factors, including us and Hanga Tonga Hanga Hapai and Super El Nino. So this is the RGEM. Let me just look at this one as well. RGEM also showing it lingering, and the RGEM really impressive. That really heavy rain tomorrow night, a lot of heavy rain. And then you can see it lingers into Thursday. It's just very slow moving that low away. So we have most models agreeing that it's going to linger around. Weather Service, I don't know if they changed their forecast yet, but either way, when it finally gets out of here, we'll have a break on Friday, and we'll have some sunshine, I think, for at least part of the day, I think, before maybe we'll see a little more high clouds. So Friday's your dry day, so make the most of it because the rain will be back on Saturday. So that's what it looks like right now with regards to the storm, obviously. So I want to see what the Weather Service is doing here with this. Rain likely mainly before 10 a.m. See, they don't have it. They just have a 30% chance of rain, so they have that to cover themselves. We'll have to see what happens because, again, it could linger around. It could linger around. We're going to have to keep an eye on it. Models don't agree on this, so that's what's making it a challenge. Models don't agree, and it's making it a real challenge to basically decide what's going to happen Thursday. But I can tell you that the worst of the rain is going to be tomorrow night, and there's plenty of moisture again to work with here. So if we look at the 700 to 300 relative humidity here, you'll see that deep green there that's going to be coming over our area tomorrow night. And then we get that break Friday, and then here's the next one for Saturday. All right? That deep river of green. And again, if we take this to the, go to the North American view. We can't use that on North American. I'll go to the CONUS and go to the 700 to 300 relative humidity here, which is a good way of showing where the moisture is coming from. There's system 1 that we dealt with today. Here's system 2. You can see that river goes all the way back to the tropics and the Pacific. You can actually kind of trace it out right here, right there. So it's moisture from the Pacific, and then it grabs more moisture from when it goes over the Gulf, and then yet more moisture when it goes over the Caribbean. And this thing's just loaded with moisture, and that's why we're going to get soaked tomorrow night into Thursday, and one dry day on Friday, and then the same deal on the Saturday. And the Saturday storm may even bring even more rain. Look at how pronounced that river is. Look at that connection right there. Again, look at it. Right there from the Pacific, right into it. So this is what we're dealing with. Meanwhile, if you're in Flagstaff, well, you're in the nice brown air and dry and not dealing with any of this. Yeah, like I said before, if this is our climate, if this is the way it's going to be from now on, then I have to leave the Northeast. I can't deal with living in a climate like this. It's too wet. It's too wet, too rainy, too gloomy. I can't deal with it. Hopefully we see a pattern change. But if this is the way it's going to be from now on, it's just too damn rainy. It all relates to the Pacific, of course, and hopefully we'll see the Super El Nino die down in the Pacific. I want to go over a few other things on this weather update here, and we're going to talk about that Super El Nino here. So sea surface temperature anomalies, you can see it starting to die down a little bit, but you still see this area above normal temperatures. So we still have an El Nino. We're still in an El Nino state. But it is starting to wane. It is starting to wane. But we have way above normal temperatures in the Gulf. Look at all these way above normal temperatures in the Gulf. And way above normal temperatures off the East Coast. Interesting, right next to them, there is a little bit of upwelling here. But by and large, there's way more red on the map. And the biggest thing to be concerned about is how warm it is in the mid-Atlantic. And this is where hurricanes form. So this is going to be a very active, devastating season for us. And that's another reason why I may wind up in Flagstaff sooner than later if we get a major disastrous hurricane here and Long Island is basically destroyed, which could happen. It's something we got to keep an eye on. It's a ways out, but keep an eye on it. The other thing I want to bring up here in this update there's the National Snow and Ice Data Center here, and let's go to the, it's more bad news here. Arctic sea ice extent, it's tied for 15th lowest. Temperatures are above average over the central Arctic. So our ice extent is very low. This is our Arctic sea ice extent here. And you can see where are we, the blue line right here. Okay, we're well below, we're not at the minimum, but we're definitely below the average here. And this is something to be concerned about. So we're going to have to keep an eye on how low it gets this year. For sure. This is the map that they have for you, and you can see all the areas where there should be ice, where there isn't any. However, because of the cold air being trapped over Alaska, it has helped keep ice in the Gulf of Alaska and in Russia and Siberia. So that's good for them. But this area here, we definitely have some openings, especially in the east here. So that's something to be, again, off the Canadian Maritimes. But that's going to wrap it up. So get in what you can tomorrow, early in the day, because by the afternoon, it's going to be soaking rain, and you're not going to want to be outside. So that's going to all. Thanks for watching, and have a good night.